What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Verified AMA. I'm your host, Lawton Ho, here with Verified Investing, and I go live every single day that the markets are open. That's why I didn't go live yesterday. From 12:30 to 1:15 to answer your questions. I hope you all had a wonderful and blessed Labor Day. I am feeling under the weather, and I have a sore throat. So even though my voice sounds like this right now, it may sound like this very soon. But anyways, how's everybody doing today? While you're here, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Please consider liking this, sharing this, and subscribing to us on YouTube and on X, Twitter. Um, with that being said, that was weird. With that being said, what's going on, everybody? It keeps moving. My camera keeps moving. I don't know if you saw that. I feel like I'm having I'm getting attacked. That was weird. If you want to answer your questions, if you want to ask questions, you can do so here by scanning this QR code or visiting the verifiedinvesting.com website. Those are the two places you can exclusively ask questions to. So that being said, how's everybody doing this fine Tuesday after a long weekend of rest, hopefully? The markets are down, right? They are down. Let's just hop into it, huh? Let me talk a little about the charts and then get into the questions. Markets are down a little bit here. You see the S&P is down 1.5%. Nothing really specifically ask me specifically one reason why, but there's a bunch of things. Nvidia earnings, Micro Center earnings were not as hot as expected. A bunch of different companies had poor earnings. The charts are overextended. Do we really even need a reason to come down, right? So anyways, let's hop into some of these questions, huh? Juanius says, can you look at Ethereum Classic? I can look at anything you want. I am bearish on this. Broke this upsloping trend line. Kind of tried to retrace. Right. I'm going to delete this and I'm going to keep this one. Yep. There's this beautiful trend line that you had. Could be something closer to like this. Right. Excuse me. Something closer to this. Had a nice breakdown. Kind of retraced to that. I'm sure you'd have a different trend line if you connected, say, these pivots here. You have another kind of upsloping trend line that's bearish, that it's attempting to close below, right? And you still needs to confirm, but I wouldn't be surprised if this of Ethereum Classic dropped at least to this low pivot here, just under $19, about 8% lower before getting a bounce. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and for your likes. Liam says, can you look at Ethereum? Are you still bearish? Yeah, Ethereum is, you saw this. This is where I expected support on Ethereum around 4,200. And where did Ethereum go? Basically to 4,200. It's now putting in like this downsloping trend line, which is actually bullish for Ethereum. But we'll see. If we can break below this $4,200 level, I expect a continued fall. But breaking above this, I'd anticipate a move, excuse me, around 11 to 10 to 11% higher. All right. Lopez says, do you think do you think alt season is dead? I mean, like, just taking a look, right? I think they've all had a nice bounce, right? But Bitcoin is still the driving force behind everything. Had this beautiful head and shoulders pattern that I did point out. potential head and shoulders, but it was no longer valid because the shoulder was bigger than this head, so it wasn't valid. Still hasn't have a nice upsloping trend line coming down, and it's now trying to break up on Bitcoin here. You're kind of seeing this kind of action break above. If it can close above and confirm, you're looking for a move, maybe a retrace to this upsloping trend line. That's where I'd look for next significant resistance. I also have this level, which is about 9% higher, around 120K, but I also have this nice level up here around 116. That should provide good resistance on Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin altcoin season is dead, though. Lynn says, hi, Lon, how are you today? I'm good. Can you please look at STLA and tell me what happened to it? Stellantis, well, it just fell, right? I don't have a Stellantis, like they sell vehicles, and Europe had weak car sales, so that's why it's come down. Right, that's kind of what you're looking at there. As far as why, STLA is sad right now, but it's retracing to this trend line. So you're anticipating a bounce. Hopefully X marks the spot. Get a nice bounce and maybe a push higher, maybe 5-ish%. All right. Mike says, what SPX level would need a break today for you to think we've got more downside this week? Well, okay. I think, for today, I'm not sure. It really depends. At 2 o'clock, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is going to be speaking most likely about Chicago and deploying the National Guard there. I'm not sure how or if that would even move the markets, to be honest. But I could definitely see this continued fall should we break this nice little pivot around 63.44. Somewhere around there. And again, guys, I'm a little sick. So I apologize. I got to blow my nose. I've had a sore throat for about 5 or 6 days, and fever for the same amount of time, probably. It's all right. Jonathan says, can you please take a look at Clean Spark? Yeah. CLSK. Let me know your views on what the price target over the next couple of months could be, please. You're welcome. For me, Clean Spark looks bearish, I would say. You could argue that there's a head and shoulders pattern, right? That's still valid, even though this one shoulder is kind of small. It's still valid. If you draw a trend line like there, your measured move would be approximately somewhere down here's a very significant drop. You're talking like 55% down. Is that going to happen? I doubt it. Something a little more realistic is you draw the neckline like this and say that this was potentially the shoulder, right? Even though that's a small one, even though it's ugly, it's still valid. And let's see where that measured move is. They didn't have a retrace to either. Down 41%, down basically down to these pivots. I think this one is more likely to play out. I'm bearish on Clean Spark. I think it's going to come down. I expect a bounce somewhere around here. 74, 747. $747. Marcus says platinum is ripping. Is the bear flag canceled now? So platinum, gold, silver are all ripping. Why is that? Because they're defensive plays. This is not. It's not broken, right? Because you still look at it. It tried to move up. It's still inside of this upsloping parallel channel. I'm still bearish on this. Failed. Rejected. So bounced off of this midline. So that's what I love to see. That's how, one of the ways, before I get ahead of myself, I got to remember this is a teachable moment. So along with these nice little pivots, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, being great measurements for potential parallel channel, another way to know if your parallel channel is good / accurate is to see if there is price action along the midline. And look, there is. It came from the top of the parallel all the way down to the middle of the parallel and then bounced. So that's the type of action I like to see. It's still not broken above it. I need it closed below, and then I need it to confirm. And then maybe we'll say that it's broken out of the bear flag, but not yet. Just because something is another amazing teachable moment. Just because something is bear flagging doesn't mean it has to continue high, lower. It has to go lower. It doesn't mean it can't continue higher. Because look, it can stay in this parallel forever, right? It can stay in this parallel, and at this point up here, on this part, part of the parallel, it would still be at new highs, right? So even though it could favor a move to the downside, even though it is a bearish upsloping parallel channel, doesn't mean it has to come down. You're looking for a break and confirmation, or break and then retrace. Keith says, love your intro, Lawton. Love your questions, Keith. Thank you so much. Juan says, hi, Lawton. What kind of account do I need to short a stock? Thank you for your answers. Currently, I only have an IRA trading account. Yeah, for sure. Juan, you need to, in order to short a stock, you need to actually short a stock. You're going to have a margin account, or an account with margin enabled. However, there are ETFs that you can buy that are inverse ETFs. What does that mean, Lawton? What does that mean, Lawton? That's a great question, Lawton. An inverse ETF is basically, so let's take a look at Tesla, right? And we'll talk about this later. Look at this, bounce straight off of this down sloping channel. Anyways, let's say we want to, for whatever reason, we want to short Tesla. Okay, well, say I don't have a margin account. I can't short Tesla. Yes, you can, as long as you can trade ETFs. There are things like TSLS. And what is TSLS? TSLS is an inverse bear of Tesla. For every 1% that Tesla goes down, TSLS goes up 1%. Okay? So it is an exact inverse of that. Okay? I hope that makes sense. On a TSLS compared to T. So that's another way to short without necessarily needing to have margin enabled. Man, I was literally talking to our writing coordinator guy, and I was like, what's the over under on amount of yawns that I do during a show? I literally, guys, I never yawn at all, except when I'm doing this show. I don't know why. Something wrong with my brain. Anna says, hi, Lon. Hope you feel better soon. Thanks, Anna. I should have brought some Dayquil. I didn't. So just a little fever, but it's okay. Okay, I got you. I got this name. Egidio says, how is your Philadelphia trip? Hasn't happened yet. I'm going on Friday. I'm going this Friday. I'm leaving. Okay, there are no flights until like the nighttime on Thursday. So I'm flying Thursday night at 10 p.m. or like 11 or something, and I'm gonna arrive in Philly at 1 a.m. for my friend's bachelor party. I'm still gonna be, around. I'm still gonna do my AMA on Friday. I would never abandon you guys, but I'll be doing it within the context of a bachelor party. So, anyways. Renica says, hi, Lawton. Hi, Renica. Just joined the day trading room last week in addition to smart money stocks and ETF. And I had the smart money ETF stocks and ETFs that I had. Excuse me. Really getting my money's worth. Thank you. Any suggestion for a re-entry stocks into a long swing position? Yeah. If you already took profits, congratulations. Anywhere under $7, I'm a buyer. Big buyer. I still think this is a great level, but anywhere under 7, I'm a big buyer. But yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of companies. Let me actually go full screen for this. Hold on. Whether you want it or not, it's coming. All right. There's a lot of companies out there that sell you subscriptions. Like Spotify, you're paying for music. You're paying for a service, right? Everything from Netflix, entertainment, Spotify, music, your alarm security system. Everything is on a recurring subscription, right? That's just the way business models are nowadays. And a lot of people try and sell you on the concept of getting your values worth, like having it pay for yourself. Like when you go to the bowling alley and they're like, okay, but if you buy this pass, you only have to come 500 times and it'll pay for itself, right? Your friends and family always try and salesmen try to tell you for it. Okay. Here's why I have no problem literally talking about our service, because our service literally pays for itself, right? I'm sure Renica, like, it's $400 a month. $400 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. A lot of money for me. But it literally pays for itself. So if you're interested in the live day trading room, we're killing it right now. Consider checking us out. And I'm pretty sure it pays for itself. Anyways, Katsuhide says, hi, Lawton. I appreciate your work very much. Thank you so much for your kind words, Katsuhide. I appreciate your questions very much. Manko says, hey, Lawton, what's up? BCH broke a trend line. Now it's retracing. Okay. Which one? Can you please check? All right, let me see this chart you sent me. But that's why I believe in our products. Like, I know a lot of people are like, all right, I'm paid, you're paid to promote your products, but like, I believe it because it literally pays for itself. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, I'm struggling. I like that trend line. That's a cool trend line. So this trend line was drawn by, I'll read your name back in a second. I'm assuming, yep, you're talking about this trend line. Pretty much. Banco, yep. I agree. It's kind of breaking up, trying to break above, pulling back from it. Oh, did not feel great. I'll be real with you guys. You also have this beautiful downsloping trend line. So look at this. Look how beautiful this is. X marks the spot, right? You have this downsloping trend line, which is actually bullish. This upsloping trend line, which is actually bearish. Broke, retrace. If it can go above and confirm, this has more upside. How much more upside? That's a great question. Considering it's down over 65% from its highs, I think it could continue higher. But it's only if it closes above this and confirms. Jeez. Kazuhide says, if the Qs breaks 560 by the closing today, where would you expect the next stop? Right here, 554. Beautiful gap fill on the Qs. About 1-ish% lower. You're welcome, Katsuhide. Nancy says, hi, Lon. Hope you had a good weekend. Thanks so much. I hope you had a good weekend. Happy Labor Day. I had some cheeseburgers, and some other stuff. But yeah, uh, let me turn this down. I keep getting dings in our group chat for the company. Um, BCH on the daily, does it have more downside? BCH. It's so funny. I was looking at BCH USDT, but now you're maybe looking for BCH Banco de Chile. Okay. Does it have more downside? This actually looks bullish to me. You have a couple down sloping trend lines. A couple of these. You also have, inverse head and shoulders pattern kind of forming. If you were to get a break here, I love this. Absolutely love this. Inverse head and shoulders pattern. You're likely to see a move. I mean, the measured move for this is about 11% higher. So I actually think this is bullish. This is inverse head and shoulders. Even though this is towards the highs of the charts, it's still down, from 17% from these highs back in 2018. So this does have more upside. Down sloping trend line, inverse head and shoulders. We're good here. Market says IBM is hitting a weekly, made sure to say weekly, support line from the middle of last year. Buy call options now. That could definitely be an option. Let's see here. Probably talking about one from like here, right? Yeah, something like this, for example. This trend line is actually, I think it's bearish because it's upsloping. I think this favors a move lower. On top of that, whenever you see down move, sideways consolidation, particularly upsloping, sideways consolidation favors a move lower. I actually think this could drop a little bit more, maybe 9 or 10%, which is not that much on most stocks, but on IBM, it's pretty large. I think this has more downside, but I could be wrong. And I always say this, guys. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. Take a look at this, guys. Fell. What is this? Beautiful kind of upsloping trend line. You bounce off of it. 1, 2, close below, confirm, favors a move lower. Yeah. I think at the least, this comes down here to 234, 235. But it would not surprise me if there's further downside for IBM. So personally, I would hold off on buying call options. You could always buy some, right? Buy IBM, a couple shares, and add as it comes lower. In the case that I am wrong, you'll profit. And in the case that I'm right, you'll have levels to add on. Anna says, hi, Lawton. Do you think AVAX will go down? Okay. Now we're talking about crypto. I'm still targeting $18 to $19 with little support at $21. Yeah, I think that I see the support right here, like basically around $20.50. Do you think it will go down? I mean, it certainly favors a move lower, in my opinion. Not that my opinion is great, but we have this nice kind of upsloping trend line. You have like a head and shoulders pattern here. It is a valid head and shoulders, right? Even though we don't love it, even though it's not the greatest, right? Absolutely still valid for inverse head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder, head, shoulder favors a move lower. Would not be surprised if this thing fell at least 12 to 13%. But I agree with you. I think it's coming down. I agree with you. David says, hi, Lon. My question is about 2 recent stocks. Sure. They are so new, we don't have much historical data. I wonder if they could be an interesting player. They should be ignored. Circle. Okay. I'm very familiar with Circle. I shorted, if you look here, I shorted Circle at 280, and I covered right before earnings. Earnings is here. I covered here around 155. So I took a I took a 45% gain on this. This thing was so ridiculous. It continued higher. I think this is you have to remember. Yes, this favors a bounce, but it doesn't have a lot of historical data, and it's a hype-driven stock, right? Whenever there's an IPO, you see this every single time, pretty much. Like, let's take a look at Reddit, right? Powerhouse. What happened upon IPOing? I can't even talk right now. Like, what? It absolutely went ballistic, and then it actually went lower, dropped 49% below its like opening price on the IPO. Same thing with Toro, right? Initially, great day, closed below, and then opened up even higher, and then fell like 89% lower. You see this all the time, even on something bigger like Robinhood. Look at this, Robinhood pushing really a lot higher, 165%, and then what happens? Just a slow grind down. You know, it's prices all the way back up there now, even higher. But look at this, had to come down before it went up. So I would probably stay away, especially for a long. I know that the RSI, let's go back to Circle. RSI looks good. I'm just not interested, to be honest. It's too risky for me. Figma, same thing. Look at this. IPO, pull it, rug pull, right? Rug pull, 54%. Now, here's the question. Sorry for the volume change there. Why wouldn't I just short anything that IPOs if it's going to go down eventually? Well, you could. Absolutely, you could. But let's say you shorted it here. Yeah, you could have made 16%, but let's say you're looking for more. You would have been out of the money potentially 140%. Shorting an IPO usually works, but you have to pick the good level, the correct level to short it at. Okay, David. I'm not interested. Yeah, avoid like the plague. Exactly. I agree. Avoid like the plague, literally the plague that I have, where I'm literally dying. Avoid it. Would not be interested. But I hope my explanation made sense, Louis. David. Louis says, "Hi, Lon. Thanks for doing this." Hi, Louis. Thanks for doing this and asking questions. I showed a GDX at 64.90. Wow. So basically here, level of close, maybe $60. Here's something I'd say though, that if the stock market keeps rolling over, GDX is going to continue popping. So, because it's a defensive play, rotation of capital from things like traditional stocks into, right, gold, silver, platinum. Taylor says, "Hey, Lon, hope you had a good long weekend. You as well." I asked about SBSW. Okay. We looked at it this week. I mentioned going long and starting to sell at 960, 1180. You said it was looking quite bearish, but would you take another look again today? It might be just about a break out of a downward sloping channel. Yeah, I probably said I would not touch it just because it had earnings last week, right? That's probably what I said, but I could be wrong. If I said I was bearish, it did fall off of earnings, and then it popped up nicely today. It's breaking this upsloping parallel channel. If you can close above, I expect to see a move. You could see a move around 9 to 10% higher, Taylor. So if you went long, great job. I could definitely see it coming up to the $9, 85 cents level. Should that happen, again, nice move up, breaking this downsloping trend line. So if you took that, congratulations. With the pressure in the metal space, I think the breakout is warranted. Yeah. So this is a precious metal, of course, gold, silver, platinum, all getting a boost with the market coming down, causing SPSW moving higher despite less than ideal earnings. But if you took that, congratulations. If the market continues to fall and the price of gold, silver, metals continuing higher, then SPSW will continue moving higher, likely. Someone's asking, hi Lawton, what's up? What's your read on Adobe? What's a good swing long level? Yeah, Adobe's kind of beaten down. Maybe 330. This low pivot here. 330. About 4% lower. There's another gap fill over here around 320.50, somewhere around there. So about 6.5% lower. For long. Luis says, Lawton, my basis is 730. I'm selling position starting at 8. I plan to hold to a small position. What is the max move you see in 3 months? Like $12 would be max, but that would cause the market to sell off another 5%, 5 or 6%. He says, hi, Lawton. What do you think about Pep? I am long. Okay, Pepsi, right? Yeah, PepsiCo. I'm long from 139. I almost sold at 157. Almost. But wait to get your advice. Do I hold until Friday to get the dividend or sell now? Thanks for your help. I mean, 139. I mean, you're in the money 9%. Yeah, it would be nice to get this, right? 13%. 9% is still great. Did have this kind of downsloping trend line. Broke out up and out of. Personally, for me, I mean, $9 up. Oftentimes, when you get a dividend, that's going to be priced in, right? What you could do is you can take some off the table and then hold the rest for it to see if it goes higher back towards your entry, because it's interesting that it did pop up and then it basically sold 4% straight throughout the day. That's rare for stock like PepsiCo, he said. I hope that makes sense. If it didn't, just let me know and I'll come back to it. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Jose says, do you think the market will go down a bit, but oil stocks will go up? The USA bombs or invades Venezuela. Right now, the U.S. Army is surrounding Venezuela. Yes. If we go to war, oil prices will go up and the stock market will come down because they don't like uncertainty. So it says, if I'm only able to go long crypto, does it make sense to subscribe to the crypto service? What's the percentage of long versus short trades? Let me check. I don't have an exact number. I would say the majority of them. It depends. Like I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shorts in a row, and then 4 longs in a row, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shorts in a row, and then 3, 6, 9, 12 longs in a row. So it's like 50-50, right? I can't. It's hard for me to advise you of either way. I would say just look at the track record and see if it makes up for you. Also depends on the size of your accounts, right? Yeah, Jonathan, they're not. Dr. B is he left. He's still doing courses and stuff for us, but he's off of the live day trading room. He's starting a private practice, concierge practice, doing like medicine again. But I literally played pickleball with him last week on Sunday. I was supposed to play with him this past weekend, but unfortunately, we got rained out. Yeah, but they're not anymore. One says, good afternoon. How about Tesla? Absolutely. Let's take a look at Tesla. There it is. Look at this. Beautiful. It's so pretty. This wedge is so pretty. Shout out to Dr. B. It came down to this trend line and bounced, retraced to it, bounced off of it. It's trading in this wedge, but it also like has this nice kind of upsloping trend line, favors a move lower. But let's see if this breaks, huh? Because if we do get a bounce, we could see the potential formation of a head and shoulders pattern. Of course, the shoulder would have to be lower, but let's see. I need more data, but it did bounce off of the downsloping part of this beautiful wedge that I found. Tyler says, what's up, Big L? What up, Tyler? What's going on? Can you tell us why you like the socks and how much of your portfolio and attention you give it? I trade it every single day. I couldn't trade it today. But on days like today and Friday, why trade anything else? Yeah, I traded every single day I could. If you take a look at the live day trading room, our track record, let's do this. I've done this before, but I'd be happy to do it again. So let's go here, go here, go here. We can track our entire track record. And you could just do control find and type in SOXS. Every single one of these SOXS trades, for the most part, are mine. Okay? There's 80 for this year, and SOXL are also mine. 55. 55 are mine. So out of all the trades given in the trading room, 135 of them have been me trading SOXS and SOXL, right? So if I'm able to trade it, then why not? I also have it as a swing position. I have an entire portfolio account that's only SOXS. Entire trading account that's long, but I look at it every single day, no matter what, most of the day. Michael says, "Hi, Lon. What can be the buying level for CRO USDT?" Yeah, I wouldn't touch this until like down here around under 20 cents. Under 20 cents. WLFI. WL. One says, hope you feel better. How about WLF? This. Oh, this. It's brand new. I can't give you anything. I can't give you anything, Juan. I'm sorry. It's brand new. I have nothing. Someone says, how did golfing go? We were supposed to go Sunday. We were so excited. I literally went to the store to buy golfing shorts because apparently I need khaki shorts. I don't know. We got rained out, unfortunately. We had like torrential rainstorms. But rest assured, guys, we will reschedule our golfing session, and you're gonna get to see some of my 6 strokes. Sarah says, what's up? How are you, Lon? I'm okay. How are you? Head and shoulders on the XDC chart. What are better points to go long? XDCs. Take a look at your head and shoulders. Yep, that's a valid head and shoulders. Where am I going to go long? I'm probably going to look around here around 6.5 cents. This is my long level, approximately 16% lower. Jonathan says, I can highly recommend the verified investing services. I'm in the smart money stocks and ETFs trader, and now the Trade Alerts Explorer for a few months now, and I've paid for my subscription many times over. Keep up the great work. Many thanks, Sean. Thank you so much for the kind words, Jonathan. And that's what keeps us at it, right? Keeps us motivated. What do you think of the new Trump crypto CRO? I gave my level on that, under 20 cents. Yusuf says, Lawton XRP is holding 725. Nicely. Do you think it will break out? Again, I have this nice head and shoulders pattern with this measured move. Did it fulfill half of the move yet? No, I think it does have lower to go. I think XRP has lower to go. So that's just thanks, Lawton. You're welcome. Triangle Peanut XLM broke down. Yep, absolutely. From this wedge. What are the better buy prices for me on XLM? Probably 28 cents would be my buy level. Mars says, hey, Lawton, how's life? Still not enough of us? No, I'm happy with the amount of people here, of course. Thank you so much for being here, brother. What's your idea of the markets coming week or so? I think that we potentially are seeing the beginning of a turnover in the markets, a little turn, because the markets are selling off a bit today, despite no new news. So now the question is this: is some good news going to come? If Trump is going to say something and come up with some good news to be like, hold on, I need to prop the markets up a little more, or could this be the start of a fall? That's what I'm paying attention to. I think the markets are starting to curl over, but that is what's the word I'm looking for? Reliant? That's not the word I'm looking for. That's the predicated. That's the word I'm looking for. Predicated on no one coming in and just throwing out some good news to kind of hold the markets up higher. Nathan says, what is your take on USAR? Do you think it's due for a bounce up? No, I don't. I think the opposite. I think you have a couple beautiful upsloping trend lines. You even have a nice head and shoulders pattern. That I believe it's breaking right now. Let's see that measured move, huh? This measured move would be a move down about 47%. But I'd expect a bounce off of this trend line, this upsloping trend line, which is still bearish, but I expect a bounce off of it, somewhere around $12-ish. So it says, how big a crypto account would you need for it to make sense to join the crypto service? Maybe 10K, I'd say. Around 10K, 10, 15K if you use leverage. Mr. Fisher says, hey, Mr. What's going on, Mr. Fisher? When do you use a parallel channel? Can you use it in copper now? Let's take a look. You can use a parallel channel whenever there is a parallel channel. So, for example, I see this beautiful trend line. Is there a parallel channel to the upside? You could say that there is one, right? You could say that this is a nice parallel channel. You could use it like this. Wherever it is, wherever you see it, you just kind of mess around with the pivots. You can use it anytime, right? Any time frame. Ow. I just slammed my ankle to this. I meant the Trump crypto WLFI. I can't, guys. I can't touch this. I can't. It already fell 77% from its highs. That's a rug pull if I ever saw one. I'm not touching this. All right. Thank you so much, Everett. If you don't mind, guys, I'm going to end on time today. I know it's something I don't normally do, but I'm going to be ending on time today. Before you go, I just want to say thank you so much for watching us. Thank you so much for being part of the Verified Investing community. And thank you for coming and asking me questions, guys. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to us on the Verified Investing YouTube channel if you want to see more content just like this. If you have any more questions, my name is Lawton Ho, here with Verified Investing. And you can do one of two things. You can either wait until tomorrow, and I'm going to be live from 12:30 to 1:15 again, or you can send me a DM on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Lawton Investing, just my name followed by the word investing. Send me a DM, and I'd be happy to chart anything for you or answer any pressing questions that you have. Okay, thank you so much for being here, Brewski. I appreciate that. With that being said, guys, that's it for me here at Verified Investing. And my name is Lawton Ho, and I'm going to throw it off to myself to talk a little bit about Kinesis. Thank you, Peggy. Hey guys, Lawton here with Verified Investing, back with another video for Kinesis. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video. So going onto the homepage, you can see that I'm logged in to Kinesis.money, and I want to highlight something I really think is cool. You guys know that I'm a trader, a pro trader here at Verified Investing. And did you know Kinesis gives you another way to trade? That's right. You're able to directly trade on the Kinesis platform and earn physical gold and silver while doing so. You can see here their trading platform and their charting platform is actually integrated with TradingView. That means the same charts that I'm used to using, that Gareth is used to using, that all of us here at Verified Investing are totally accessible for you to use. So this is a seamless transition if you want to chart on here. You can even see the order books and the history. Right. So if I want to put in a trade, I can put in the price in USD or the amount in KAU as one of their pairings. I can set a limit order, stop limit, trailing stop, whatever I want here. And I can do good till cancel or fill or kill or whatever else I need. Additionally, I can see all of my orders down here. Going on the left side, I can see all the different pairings that Kinesis has on their exchange, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Really, really cool. So not only is it a platform that lets you earn money and earn physical gold for doing anything. If you're trading cryptocurrency anyways, Kinesis could be an option for you as well. Kinesis is really cool, and there's way too much just to talk about in one video. But if you want to learn more about Kinesis, go ahead and check them out in the link in the description. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys next time.